If you don't heal so your nervous system feels safe, you will never attract the life that you want. This is week 2 of 12 weeks where I show you how to heal so your nervous system feels safe. But the biggest thing standing in your way is not happening during the day. It is happening while you sleep because your brain does not shut off at night. It keeps working the entire time you sleep. It sorts through the day, it files memories, it replays whatever it has been fed. And when a nervous system has been carrying stress and fear for years, that is the lens it uses to process all night, every night. And this is why healing during the day is not enough because you can do everything right while you're awake and then take huge steps backwards every single night. But by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly why sleep is the most powerful reprogramming window you have. And I am going to give you 2 methods that will heal you while you sleep. But this is the part you really need to pay attention to. While you're awake, your mind has a filter. It questions everything that comes in. But when you fall asleep, that filter turns off. Whatever plays in the mind at night goes straight through to the subconscious, unquestioned. And you cannot stop any of it because your conscious mind is not in control while you are asleep. So when the old stress and fear runs at night, it runs for 8 hours with nothing standing in its way. And this is exactly why so many people work on themselves all day and they don't feel like they're making any progress. They are healing for 16 hours and undoing it for 8. And here's what almost no one truly understands. The subconscious absorbs whatever it is fed during the hours you are asleep. And that is the best time to reprogram your subconscious self. So the question was never whether the brain gets programmed at night. It gets programmed every night, no matter what. The only question is, what is doing the programming? Right now, it is the old stress and fear on repeat, flooding your subconscious while you sleep. But starting tonight, you get to choose what is doing the programming. And the first tool for this is sleep programming affirmation videos or audio. Sleep programming affirmation is when you play affirmations quietly all night while you sleep. So your subconscious soaks in new programming instead of replaying the old stress and fear. That is it. It is not complicated and it is extremely powerful. But I'm not talking about standing in front of a mirror saying things you do not believe. And here is why affirmations usually fail. You say them while you're wide awake, and the waking mind argues back. It pulls up all of the old evidence and shuts the new words down before they have a chance to stick. But at night, there is no arguing. The conscious mind is offline. The words go straight in. The exact weakness that makes affirmations fail during the day is what makes them work at night. And there are reputable channels on YouTube dedicated entirely to this. Videos that are 8 to 10 hours long, built of nothing but affirmations. Most of them are completely ad-free with black screens, so nothing jarring wakes you up. And they come in different themes depending on what you're trying to rewire. Self-worth, confidence, healing, safety. And since everything in these 12 weeks is about teaching the nervous system it is safe, you are going to start with one that is themed around safety or healing. But this is why it will actually change your life. Instead of the subconscious spending 8 hours replaying the old stress and fear, it spends 8 hours soaking in words like, you are safe. You are worthy. You are healing. Hundreds and hundreds of repetitions every single night. And here's why this kind of repetition actually works. The brain builds a pathway for anything it does over and over. It is trying to be efficient. That is how the old stress and fear got so strong in the first place. Years of nightly repetition. And repetition is the only way the new programming will take. The brain only changes through repetition. And nothing gives you more repetition for less effort than this. It is free and it takes zero effort. You do not have to build a habit. You do not have to push through discomfort. You do not have to remember to do anything in the moment. You press play and the programming runs by itself while you sleep. It is the easiest and cheapest way to help your nervous system feel safe and let your body heal from old traumas. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, can words playing in the background really change anything during sleep? And I get it. It sounds too passive to matter, but the subconscious never turns off. The brain is monitoring sound all night, deciding what matters. It is listening whether it gets something worth hearing or not. These affirmations finally give it something worth hearing. And the next thing you're probably wondering is, will this keep me awake? It will not, as long as the volume is low. Most people find they actually fall asleep faster because the quiet voice gives your mind something to focus on instead of its own thoughts. The first night or two might feel unfamiliar, and that's fine, but by the third night, you won't even notice it. And if you sleep next to someone, we're going to talk about what you can do in the next method. But after people try this, here's the question I get asked most often. I don't remember a single word from last night. Did it even do anything? And this is the part you have to understand. You are not supposed to remember it. It was never for the awake mind. You do not need to remember the words for them to work. The words are going straight into your subconscious, the same place the old stress and fear lives. That is the whole point. But what if you can't have sound playing all night long? Maybe your partner can't sleep through it. Maybe you don't keep your phone in your bedroom. Maybe any sound at all keeps you up. That is fine because there's a second tool and it doesn't need a screen, a speaker, or a single sound. It is called the last thought. And this second tool works on something you already do every single night without even realizing it. Your brain takes whatever you're thinking about in the last few minutes before you fall asleep, and it works on it all night. And most people fall asleep thinking about the worst thing they have in their life at the time, the argument, the bills, the thing they wish they had said differently. And then the brain spends all night processing exactly that. But the last tool shuts all that negativity down. So here's how you do it. When you're just about to go to sleep, you pick one scene and you build it in your mind. It can be the life you're working towards, or it can be a moment where you felt completely safe, completely calm, and you don't just think about it, you step into it. See what you would see, hear what you would hear. Use your imagination to feel what it feels like in your body. You can imagine anything as long as it's positive and it makes you feel safe and happy. And you hold that scene as you drift off. So the last thing on your mind is the exact feeling you are trying to program in. I used to imagine myself standing on a beautiful wraparound porch, feeling content and happy, because at the time, that idea gave me a tremendous amount of comfort. You have to pick something that gives you that feeling and focus on it as you are falling asleep. And here's the part that makes it actually work. Your nervous system does not know the difference between a real event and the one you vividly imagine. That's why replaying a bad memory makes the heart race and the muscles tighten like it is happening right now. The body runs the imagined moment as if it were real. And for most people, this has only ever worked against them. Every replayed bad memory filed away as more evidence of danger. Tonight, you can make it start working for you because a vividly imagined moment of safety gets filed the exact same way as evidence the body is safe. But there's one more reason this works so well. In the last few minutes before sleep, the filter is already shutting down. You're not fully awake and you're not fully asleep. And whatever you hold in your mind right then goes straight into your subconscious, the same place the affirmation videos reach. And if old thoughts show up while you're building your scene, the old argument, the bad memory, don't fight it. Fighting them just gives them your attention. Notice them, let them pass, and then go back to your scene. Go back to the thought or idea that makes you feel comfortable. So now you have two ways to reprogram your nights. If you can play audio, play sleep programming affirmations and let them work all 8 hours. If you can't, use the last thought so you are the one that chooses what your brain works on all night. And if you want the strongest version, use both. Fall asleep inside your scene with the affirmation videos playing all night long. But knowing the tools is not the part that changes your life. What changes your life is what happens over the next few months. And there's one thing that will make or break whether you ever get there. Whichever tool you use, one night does nothing. The first morning is going to feel mostly the same, and that is normal. You are not trying to win in one night. It takes months of nights to replace the old programming, at least 30 days before it even makes a dent. The brain changes slowly through repetition. And there is one specific moment coming that will tell you it is working. So here's what the months ahead actually look like. The first week or two, nothing obvious. You are just getting used to it. Press play or build your scene, fall asleep. Then a few weeks in, the mornings start to change first. You wake up with more positive energy. Your mind is quiet for a moment before the thoughts start. If that quiet is new, make sure you sit with it. Then, somewhere down the line, something happens that surprises everyone who gets there. You catch the new programming showing up in your thoughts during the day. You make a mistake, and instead of the old negative comment, the thought that surfaces is, I am okay, I am safe. You didn't force it, it just came. That is the moment you know the new programming is running on its own. And that is what months of nights add up to. So here's exactly what you do tonight. Before you get into bed, open YouTube, search 8 hours sleep affirmations for safety and healing. Pick a video from a channel that is dedicated to this, one with a long track record and comments full of people who have used it for months. Check that it is ad-free so an ad doesn't blast you awake at 3 in the morning. Then when you get into bed, press play. Turn the volume down low, so low you can barely make out the words. You are not trying to listen to it. The words are for your subconscious, not your awake mind. And then you just fall asleep and let it run all night. That is the whole tool. And here's why this matters so much, because those 8 hours happen every single night, no matter what. They are either feeding the old stress and fear, or they are feeding your healing. But now you get to decide which one. And when the danger signal stops running through the night, the nervous system finally gets the message that it is safe. And a nervous system that feels safe comes out of survival mode. It stops spending all of its energy just getting through the day. And that energy goes towards building the life you actually want. That is how you attract the life you want, not by wishing, but by becoming safe enough to attract it. So let me leave you with the whole thing so it's simple. This week, you reprogram your nights. If you can play audio, open YouTube tonight, search 8 hours sleep affirmations for safety and healing, pick a reputable ad-free video, press play at a low volume, and let it run all night. If you can't play audio, build your scene as you are going to bed. Step inside a moment where you are completely safe and hold it as you fall asleep. Or do both every single night for months, and watch what happens when your nights start working for you instead of against you. And always remember, it only takes one day to turn everything around.